So hello everyone, welcome. I'm Jolyn Holiday of Above and Beyond Mentoring and my new division, Moms Finding More. Because besides being a mentor and a messenger, I am also the mother of 7 children, 7 amazing children. And I'm so happy to be here with you today. I want to express my gratitude as I start because I always like to start in gratitude and positive energy. So I want to express my thanks to my higher power, who for me is God, my Heavenly Father. I want to express my thanks to Him for His help in all the roles that I play and as I present to you today. And I ask for His blessing on our call. And I am thankful to you moms that will be on live, you moms that will watch later. We do have some moms with appointments and things today that will just have to watch this later. And I express my thanks to you, my admiration to you. You all inspire me. I admire you. I love to watch the wonderful mothers around me that teach me so much. So I want to make sure that you guys, that you know that, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, all the great things that you do and all the things that you work on. And I know that you care about mothering. I know that you believe it's an inspired calling because you're part of this group today, and you want to find more as a mother and do your very best in this job. Now I have to say that anytime moms get compliments, we start putting up these little shields, like the guilt shields, you know, like, well, but I did this and I did this and I'm not perfect at this. So I want you to take those little guilt shields down right now and just soak in all the compliments, because I don't want you to worry about being perfect. Worry and guilt are negative emotions and they're not going to help you. So I don't want you to worry about being perfect. I want you to work at being progressive. And I know that you are progressive, especially since you are on this call today. I know that. I always tell moms I want you to reach up and like really do it, ladies. Reach up to your higher power, because I want you to feel supported. There's a lot of support for you. Reach out to your higher power and reach your arms out to resources and others, and reach your arms around your children. And now I want you to give yourself like a huge big hug and a great big pat on the back. I'm so thankful for you. Now, 3 quick rules when I present. I always ask that my participants abide by 3 very simple rules. Number 1, respect all around for everyone. Number 2, that you manage your communication device, so your phone, all your phone, Facebook, all of those things. And number 3, that you be as present as possible. And if we were in a real presentation on stage, I would ask 100% present. But since you're in your home and your moms and you have your children around you, I just say as present as possible. So can you agree? Oh, and I should say, managed communication device means that get out of Facebook. If you're not using your phone for the call, then put it away, or turn it on silent, put it away so it won't distract you. And if you're on computer, get out of Facebook and all those extra things. Your Zoom will actually run better if you do that, and you will be less distracted. So if you can type your little yes in the chat, will everyone on the call agree to abide by those 3 rules? Respect, manage your communication device, and be as present as possible. And I see a yes from Lauren, and just let me know, yes, that I can abide by those rules. So I see Sarah like typing away there, and we're so happy to have Sarah today. And as I said, some of our moms have appointments this morning, so hopefully they'll jump on. And I tried to give a text reminder to everyone right before our call. And where I am right now, for some reason, the reception on my phone is not great, and so it actually wouldn't send the text. So hopefully they remember and get on. Okay, so this lecture today is part of the Moms Mastermind Group Mentoring Program. Sarah, I think you're amazing with the speaker on on your shoulder and your children around you look amazing. Moms can do these really cool things. Oh my goodness. Anyway, this is part of a group mentoring program. We meet once a week via Zoom, just like this today, and we speak for an hour to an hour and a half. It's usually an hour for our lecture, and then we have a little bit more like discussion and review and things like that. So an hour to an hour and a half, Tuesday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. So other people can join us. They can join us clear across the United States. And this is the first time that I've ran this program. And so we're a little small and we're learning things, but it will grow. I know it will grow because there's a lot of moms out there like you that want to find more in poignant areas of their life. So if I could ask you, Lauren, if you're able to unmute yourself, what are a couple benefits that you have seen from this program?
Yeah, I think it's because it's week after week, and so even if I forget what the homework is or something like that, I have the reminder the next week. So I think that I've become more patient. I had we get ahas from other moms that have shared their ideas, and that's been very interesting. This last week, I did the roles, so the wife, mom, that type of thing. I did that one day. Don't ask me why I didn't do it again, but I did it, and the day that I did that, it actually, because even though I didn't do it the next day, it still went. I still got the benefits from it, and I had some really cool connection time with my husband because I did that. Also, Sarah, to fill you in, so our homework this last week, which I did one time, was to write out our roles, wife, mom, what was the other one? Let's see. Like somewhere. Self, mother, wife, and business if you have a business.
Yeah.
But then I realized that there was a role that didn't fit in any of those, and that was homemaker. And I'm like, hey, that's where laundry and meals and all of this goes. So although I haven't been writing out my roles, I've been thinking more about my roles and how much being a homemaker or housekeeper or however you want to look at it, how much time that actually takes. And so I'm starting to be a little more self-conscious. There's a lot of progress that I need to make so that I'm not spending too much time in that role. I haven't been putting a lot of time in there. My house shows it, but I've become more aware. And overall, my first reason to become in the class was to have more patience. And I haven't been blowing up at my kids as much. There's still times, and usually it's my fault for one reason or another, but I've had some good successes. So it's definitely been worth it.
So thank you. Whoops. Okay. I'm trying to unmute myself here. Okay, that was stuck there for a while. I was trying to unmute myself and it was totally stuck. So thank you for talking about that. We are going to review, Sarah will review that part because each time we review the lesson before, do a quick review of it and then get into our new lesson. So I'll teach you a little bit more about the roles and planning in your different roles for more balance. I'll be teaching that in a minute. And Lauren, it's true that when I do my roles, I don't think I listed them all for you guys because sometimes moms get overwhelmed. But when I do plan in my roles, I actually do list disciple, self, wife, mother, homemaker, finance, because I do the finance, not all moms do the finance, but I do the finance, and business. So I actually do list them like that when I'm doing my planning. So we are going to review a quick review of last time we talked about moms finding more balance. And we talked about how balance isn't always giving equal time to every role, but sometimes balance is about shifting as needed, right? We might have some days where we have to spend more time as mom or homemaker, or even in a church job, or a career, something. We have days where we have to spend more in that, and then we kind of shift as needed, and then the next day maybe we spend a lot more time with our children, you know. So balance, excuse me, I've had a cold. Balance isn't always about everything exactly the same. So let's see here. All right, we have so some of the things that we talked about last week were live in alignment for balance. So live in alignment, plan in your roles, whole health balance, and being flexible. So I'll do a quick review of those. And normally we talk about each point, and I give moms a chance to talk about how they've been doing those. And today I want so much to get to the order part. I'm just like so excited about that. I'm going to spend a little less time in review. But if you have something poignant that you want to say, please unmute yourself. Wave to me, unmute yourself, whatever you have to do to give us your feedback, because this is also a mastermind and I want to hear from you. So the tips for more balance last week, living in alignment. And we did, let's see, so live in alignment with your higher power and your value system. Because we have a discord of spirit. We feel a discord of spirit when we're not in that alignment with our higher power and our value system. So that's one of the things that we need for balance. Then let's see here. I've got to peek. The way I took my notes came out kind of funny. All right. And then the second thing, so sorry, I'm a little bit off looking at my notes here. The second one was to plan in your roles, like she talked about. I learned that from the Franklin Covey company. They are the ones that they do Franklin planners and those things. So I learned to plan in my roles from them. And we actually had someone speak to us at an event for women. So I learned to do that. And so the night before, when I plan my next day, plan for the next day, I do list those roles down the page. And then I just write to-dos under there in each to-dos or areas of focus under those roles. And you know, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Don't write too many or too much. You do that, and then you quickly can prioritize with an A for must do, B for should do, C for could do. And then looking at that, you put the most important priorities, the what and the who, into the when of your schedule. The what and the who into the when. And it helps to have more balance, especially if I write down my children's names. I don't always do that, but sometimes I write down my children's names under mother, and that I'm able to see and mark off if I took time to actually nurture them and connect in a very personal way, sort of eye-to-eye nurturing. So those things help me to be balanced. So that was the second one we talked about, was plan in your roles. You list the roles you play, the to-dos, put the what and who into the when of your schedule. And number 3 was whole health balance, that often people will be really strong in certain areas, such as spiritually or physically, but then be really lacking in some of the other areas, like emotionally, socially, or some of the other roles that we play. So that just means that we need to be asking ourselves, and we need to have this well-rounded whole health and do an assessment. You do an energy assessment, right? You do an energy assessment and you say, how am I doing physically? How am I doing emotionally, spiritually, socially? All of those things are important to have that. It's really an important part of balance, and whole health balance is what I call it. And then number 4, we talked about being flexible. Excuse me, because moms have to be flexible, right? So not frustrated, which sometimes that happens to me if I put everything in the schedule and it doesn't go as I said, and I'm kind of getting behind. I have to remind myself to be flexible, not frustrated. Sometimes we have to take 5 minutes and look at our day, like 5 to 15 minutes, look at our day again, and sort of replan really quickly if we get super off. But we also have to be flexible. My children just love spontaneous moments. They just love it when I say, you know what, let's go to the movie. So there are things that happen and things that happen all the time. So don't get frustrated. Be flexible. Keep your alignment with your values and your higher power, and it will work out. That's part of being flexible. All right, so now we're ready today to talk about today. My goodness, my nose itches, and you're not supposed to do this on Zoom, but it itches. So today we're talking about moms finding more order. And I am going to be totally honest with you guys. I am not a naturally organized, orderly person. Okay, so just know that it's not natural for me. I have to work at it super duper hard. But because of that, I can tell you some things that work for me, right? Some people just seem to do that like naturally, and I don't. So I have found some things that work for me, and I still have lots of areas of organization and order that I am working on and finding answers for. And I definitely want everyone's input as we do this today. As we talk about different points and stuff, I'll make sure that you can share, because everybody has some ideas of how to have more order. So just know that I struggle with it, but I have found some things that work, and I'm still working on it. It's just a constant thing. I will tell you one experience that I had, because I've always kind of struggled with order and organization, and I think I have ADD, but I have a hard time with focus and concentration, and that all kind of plays in with order and organization. So I always have these prayers, to my higher power. Heavenly Father, please help me. Please help me with order and organization. And one day I had this thought come to me, which I know was some inspiration from my Heavenly Father, that said, you can't have order in your home and your business until you have order in your head. So I was like, whoa, order in my head. So I actually started doing a meditation, and I did it for a while then. I don't do it as much now because it's kind of in my head now. So I started doing this meditation because mothers can feel like our head is like a whirlwind of many things like going on, and it's hard to organize because we have so many things to think about and do. And so I took the roles that I play, like we talked about: self, disciple, wife, mother, business, homemaker. And I imagined, made a meditation, and I imagined a certain place that I would put those roles in my brain. Even though, they really aren't there, I guess, that role. But I had to picture a place of order in my head. I had to have some order with the roles in my head. So I actually pictured my role of disciple in my heart with this lifeline up for inspiration. And then I picture my role of self as my brainstem, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of all the other roles. So gotta have that brainstem to live and function and breathe. So I picture that there. And then I stick the roles of wife and mother and homemaker and all that. And I imagine a certain place in my brain so that they're all in order. And I'm like, I got this. I got this. They're all there, and I imagine some neat sort of compartments, and we can open the doors and join those needs. So I know that's kind of silly, but that helped me with a head of order. And then the other thing that I've done is create a place of peace in my head that I can go to. I have actually a couple different ones. A place in nature and a couple things where I can go and have a place of peace. Helps me to find some order too. And definitely our mind is going to be more of a mind of order if we have inspiration, and we want to live our life so that we can call upon our higher power, and he's always with us, and we can feel His Spirit. And so when I do that little meditation, I actually picture all my roles, and then I picture the light of my higher power coming in to enlighten all the roles that I play. And it's really helpful. So I know it's a little wacky, weird, but if that helps you, I'm super glad. Super glad. Please know that you can unmute yourself and comment or type in the chat. Like if your kids are around and they're making noise and stuff, you can always type in the chat and I'll read that out for everyone. So that's something that I do. Now let's see here. I always choose 3 points or sometimes 4 points because there are many, many, many tricks to having more order in our life and in our home. But we can't do them all today, and I don't like to overwhelm people. So I choose 3 main points and sometimes 4. And today I have a 4th because I think it's really important. So my number 1 point, I'm going to list these. I will list these quickly, and then don't worry if you didn't get them all written down, because then we'll go through each one. So the ones we're going to talk about today for more order are standards, like setting a standard. That's number 1. Number 2 is discipline. Disciplines, I should say, disciplines. We'll talk about that. Number 3 is organization. And number 4 is it's a family affair. The order in the home is a family affair. So those are the 4 we're going to go through today. So number 1, standards, setting a standard. Now, we once had an organizing expert come and speak to us at our church women's group. And he said, I believe it was Don Aslett, he said that the level of cleanliness in our home is determined by the standards set by the one in charge of it. So usually in the home, that's usually the mom, the mother, or the lady. Not always though, not always. In his case, it was him, because his wife she had a terrible accident, I think it was, and she had become disabled. And then he was now in charge of the house. But he said the level of cleanliness in the home is determined by the standards set by the one in charge. And I first thought that's not true, because your family, they're making the messes too. So how could it be just you? And he said, no, that's standard, because everyone is going to have to meet the standard that is set by the one in charge. So if our homes are not in enough order, then we haven't set a high enough standard. And then of course there are other components, family components to that, and we'll get to those. So setting the standard. Now, for me as the mom, and for me personally having a hard time organizing and stuff, I tend to be a cluttery person if I'm not careful, and I don't love housekeeping, and so I struggle with making sure that I do it regularly. And so I have set standards for certain places, and just thinking to myself that I'm going to keep the whole house clean, you know what? It's too hard. That's too hard for me to start with. So I think we're going to have set standards for certain places in our house as a start. You can have different standards for different places in your house. So our front living room has a higher standard than the rest of the house. And my family knows that I set that standard because I'm in charge of how the house looks in order. But the front living room has a higher standard, and it is our quiet, clean room. And toys are not brought in that room, except we have a few baby toys. We have a grandbaby that lives with us, so there's one little thing of baby toys, but otherwise, toys are not brought in that room. No food is brought in that room. We do not have computers or TV in that particular room. And of course, all of us don't have the same home layout, so you may not have a front living room. But the example is just that there can be certain places in your home that you set a higher standard than other places, that, your family room or whatever. Now, the big family room, of course, we take toys in there. We do. We have a TV in there. But you can think about that in your own home. There might be certain standards. So that room we keep cleaner, but it is a room where we love to be together. It's a smaller room, and it's where we have scriptures and family night and prayer, often where we open our Christmas presents together. There's a piano in that room, and it's the quiet clean room, and we read in there. So it has a higher standard, and it's also the place that people see when they come to our house, right? That's our living room. So it helps to have a higher standard in that room. Now, you can also set a higher standard in one room. I should say one place in a room, because in my kitchen, I struggle keeping my kitchen clean, but I have a couple parts, a couple places in the kitchen that have a higher standard where it has to be clean. I have always wanted a clean kitchen table. So of course we do homework, we do projects and eat on our kitchen table. But in between that, the kitchen table is clean. And usually I have had a tablecloth or a centerpiece on the kitchen table, and our kitchen table is not fancy. It's kind of the old-fashioned, not fancy. But when I have a tablecloth or a centerpiece or bowl on the table, I tend to put less things on it. So does everyone else, because it's kind of a place of beauty. And when we need to do projects on it, of course we do projects on it. But we have a standard that the table, if we're not doing projects or eating it, stays clean. And that is not the standard for the whole rest of the kitchen. Like we have messy places in our kitchen that are chronically messy. So I can't say that's the standard for the whole thing. Last year I started a standard of a clean counter standard. And actually that's just like the section of our bar where the 3 chairs go. That I finally told everyone, okay, I can't do the standard of the kitchen is always clean. I can't do that. But I'm going to move now to the bar, and the bar is always going to be clean. And as I speak to you today, I am committing to expand that to the corner around the sink. Oh, that this is going to be our new standard. That this part is clean, that it is cleaned up. So that's something about setting a new standard. Let's see here. Having your bed made always. You can have that standard. Now, I'll be honest, I struggled with that one for some crazy reason. I think because my husband and I get up at different times. Sometimes kids who come to our bed, I've struggled with being a person that makes the bed every day. And I need to do that. I did make it this morning, and I made it yesterday. And man, it feels great when you go in and you see that bed that's made. So you can do that standard, even if the rest of your room is crazy. So, Lauren, do you have something that you want to say?
No, I just had the video off because I was nursing.
Oh, yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yes, I want to produce a clean video. So, but nursing is a beautiful thing too. It's beautiful. And let's see, also our car. When we got a new car a couple of years ago, and we'd always struggled with our car. Our car had always been so messy, super messy. And when I would get in my car to go somewhere, I would look at the car and I'd just think, oh my gosh, I've got to clean this thing. It's so messy. And then sometimes, if you take someone else with you, I'd be embarrassed, because the car wasn't clean. So when we got a new car a couple years ago, I decided, and not even a brand new car, but a different car, I decided we are setting a new standard for the car. We are not having messy cars anymore. We've had 20 years of messy cars. We're not doing it anymore. New standard. And I've actually been able to hold to the standard. Now, it's not perfect, but I do some simple disciplines that now keep the car pretty clean. And so I'll share those with you when we get to the other part of it, where you can set a standard. So would either of you, Larianne or Sarah, do you have any comments about setting a standard for your home, or a standard for one room, or standard for one place in a room? Do you have any comments you'd like to make about that?
I guess for me, I've set standards for certain things, like the floor in our family room. Before I go to bed, it's clear. I don't know why I picked the floor, but if the floor gets really cluttery, at the moment it's not as good as I want because toys have moved in. Yeah. I'm interested to go to the discipline section though, because that's where I really struggle. But yeah, setting the standard, I've been thinking about that, so that makes a lot of sense. And I like it that you said that even different parts of a room, or even actually different rooms can have different standards. That makes a lot of sense. Not right now, sweetie.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Yeah, it does. Sarah, do you want to say anything about that? And that's okay. You can or you're not.
Oh, yep, I just figured out how to turn off the mute.
Yay.
Right. So we have standards in certain places, definitely not our entire house. We are just like you. We like to keep the front room cleaner for guests and whatnot. So that's a standard that the kids know, that if they get something out in our front room, that they have to put it away or it gets taken away type thing. Let's see. Another standard is that when they take showers and baths, they know that they have to take their clothes out of the bathroom.
Love it.
So those are mostly our two standard areas, is just that. I know it's not a lot, but I kind of just try and keep afloat most days.
Yeah. But you can add, so if we say, okay, we're going to keep this whole room clean, that hasn't been chronically clean, and we're going to keep the whole house clean, we're not setting ourselves up for success, right? We're setting ourselves up for failure. So just choose one time. And as the new standard is met in that one small place, add another one, right? And add one small one at a time. Make sure your family is involved. Because I said to my family, we now have a clean counter standard. And of course I have to remind them, oh, apparently you forgot about the clean counter standards, stuff here. And so that helps. So Sarah, let's see, I'm gonna mute you again if I can here. There we go. Okay, all right, now let's go on to the disciplines. So I agree with you, Lauren. The disciplines for me are the hardest because there are some daily disciplines, like weekly disciplines, especially daily disciplines, that we need to do in order to have a home that is in order most of the time, right? There's some really important disciplines. So one discipline that we need to have, and I am committing before you two, is make the bed, right? Make the bed every day. My mother had this standard. She had this discipline. I never remember my mother's bed not being made. But I've had years of going back and forth, making my bed, not making my bed, making my bed, not making my bed. But when it's made and you go in there, it's just a whole different feeling. And our bedroom, especially our master bedroom, or I should say the parents' bedroom, needs to be a place of peace and romance. Peace, order, and romance. Sarah, did you have something you wanted to say? I just saw that you got unmuted.
No, my daughter is getting a hold of my phone.
Oh, she probably unmuted you, huh? There we go. Okay. Anyway, so we need to have some places, right, that we have these disciplines. So another one for me is I have found I have to have the discipline of doing a little bit of laundry every day. Now, you don't have to do it that way. You can have one day of the week that you have set to do your laundry. I've had that in the past as well. But then if you have that discipline, you have to do that discipline, that one day a week you do the laundry. For me personally, I have realized that it works better if I do half an hour of laundry every day. If I do that, then I don't get behind. So now that's probably more than y'all have to do because we have a big family. But for me, if I do a half an hour of laundry every day, if that's a daily discipline, I do not get behind. When I don't do that, I do. So you can do that, or you can choose a day that you do the laundry. Either of those, but laundry really needs to be a set discipline, a little bit daily, or once a week. So that is an important one. My friend has a daily discipline of just quickly wiping down the bathrooms. And she only spends like 5 minutes in each one. She just takes the Lysol wipes, and just does a quick wipe down of the bathrooms. And so I have not been in that daily discipline of the bathrooms. And so I want to move to that like she does and make it simple. So the daily discipline, make them simple, or you're probably not going to do them. Just make them super simple. But daily disciplines, tiny things make a big difference, right? and over time. Make a big, big difference because you're not going to get way behind if you have those disciplines. And then our basic cleaning needs to be a discipline. And you can decide whether you want to do a different room each day or half an hour each day, however you want to do that. But our basic cleaning needs to be a discipline of a certain day that we do certain things, or a little bit that we do each day. As I said, for me, daily disciplines work the best. So like half an hour of, general cleaning is going to work better for me. I've tried doing certain days that I do certain things, and I don't do very well with that. So half an hour. Obviously, you're going to spend a lot more time in the kitchen, and all the other things you do as homemaker. You're going to spend more than half an hour a day. But half an hour a day of just cleaning of the basic things, whether it's the bathroom or the kitchen or the family room or vacuuming or dusting, that helps. And I want you to realize the power of 5 minutes. The power of 5 minutes. Because I tend to dawdle when I housekeep. I tend to dawdle a lot and kind of go here and there and, get all, I go to put something away and then I start in that room, then I pick up in that room, then I go somewhere else. So if sometimes I have to do the power of 5 minutes and set the timer and, okay, I am going to just power clean this room for 5 minutes, which is usually a pickup, a pickup of stuff. But then, like, you're driven 5 minutes or 15, and I even put 5 to 15 minutes. Because if you think what you can do in 5, what in the world can you do in 15? Amazing. But then, I don't like housekeeping. So if I say to myself, I do that in the kitchen a lot, I'm going to power clean this thing for 15 minutes. It is so surprising what you can do if you are driven and you've got a timer and you're trying to do the certain areas. I have to make it more fun, do these certain areas just really quick and do 15 minutes. Now, think about what happens when you do a family power pickup. A family power pickup, like after supper or before bed, and you can say to the whole family, okay, we're going to pick up for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and that, you know what? If we get these areas picked up, then we're going to have a story or something like that, and make it fun. A power pickup, and husbands really, they're usually okay if you say, because they don't love cleaning either. But if you say, honey, could you help me for 15 minutes? Would you mind just helping me? Can we, as a family together, can we work together in a power pickup for 15 minutes? And you can make that a daily discipline event. That's powerful, especially if you have older kids. Not as much with little ones, but then you're going to be working with them and you're teaching them. And make it fun. Put some music on. Dance while you put it away. Make sure it's fun. And another idea that we do for disciplines is I finally made a dailies chart. We just call it our dailies. I made a dailies chart for me and one for my children. For mine, I simply typed it in Microsoft Word on the computer, just a few main things that I needed to do every day. And I can check it off. And for a while, I actually took a picture of it and sent it to a friend to get in that habit. But you can print it out, put it in a plastic sleeve, hang the sleeve up in your kitchen, put a dry erase marker by it, because you've got to make it super easy. And don't write too many things on it. If you write too many things on it, you'll get overwhelmed, like I can never get them all done. Maybe start with 3. Start with 3 things, like make the bed, like 3 to 5 things. Make the bed, some time on laundry, a power pickup, whatever you want to do. Make it super simple to start with, because you can add. Don't start with a big list that's going to overwhelm you and make you feel like you can't do it. Stick it in a plastic sleeve. You can handwrite it. You don't even have to type it. Stick it in a plastic sleeve. Hang it up in your kitchen. Dry erase marker by it. Then you can date it each night. Do some checks. Take a picture of it, or just look at it. If you do that for a while, you can actually see a pattern of, you know what, every day I'm not doing this one thing. Like this is a pattern, and have some accountability. See it, but don't make it too hard. The first dailies chart I made, I put too many things on there, and then it was kind of overwhelming. So I would say start with 3 to 5. You change three things in your home order, you'll change a lot. So you don't need to do a big one. And I should ask you, do you have any comments on disciplines? The disciplines, we talked about just kind of daily repeat disciplines. Any comments that you have on that you would like to share? Larianne, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you put it in a sleeve, because I just had that idea. So when I did the one day, this is why I didn't do the rolls every day. I'm working on this. Okay. So I wrote out the roles: the self, wife, mother, business, and then I wrote down kind of the things that I was going to do in each of those categories for the following day. So I did the night before, I think, or the morning of. I don't remember. But then I didn't do it again because I was like, this is too much work. Okay, so that's where I have some. That's where I need to work on that. There was a talking conference about that too. Anyway, so this morning, so I was like, I could make it, put up like an Excel, make a spreadsheet or something, and so I could just check it off. But then this morning, I think when I was in the shower, I was like, you could put it like in a sleeve, and then you could just check it off. So it's really funny that you said that. Yeah, because I've done like various daily things before, but I like the idea of putting a sleeve and maybe putting it, like taping it onto a cupboard or something so that it's accessible and easy, or inside a cupboard or something like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, both for the roles and for the daily disciplines.
Yeah,
That's a really good idea.
My chart actually does have my different roles and the disciplines in the roles on it. But just don't start with too much. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't start with too much, because I made that mistake at first. You can always add. So, Sarah, did you have any comments that you wanted to make on disciplines?
Discipline. Jeez. I'm not sure. I was actually thinking about lists and whatnot, and we actually have a whiteboard marker that my husband, how most women have a honey to-do list for their husbands, that my husband teases me. He's like, make you a honey to-do list for things to do, because I get overwhelmed really easy. I see the big picture, but not the little things. And so he's like, here, let me break it down for you a little. And so anyway, he has a honey to-do list for me, and it actually helps me a lot, because I can see the smaller picture and not be overwhelmed with the house, if that makes any sense.
I did make a daily list for my children too. So my children have one, and they have to have that done before they can have their their technology or whatever, you do it before they play or something. So it actually helps a lot to do it for your children. The same thing in dry erase, what they have to do, which are things like make their bed, their hair, put on clean clothes, do their job, stuff like that. So that helps. So number 3, organization. Let me check my time here. I feel like we always try to be respectful of time here. So organization. And the easiest thing of organization is to simplify, right? Simplify, and not to have too many things. Less is better, right? Less is better. I have a friend who is super good at housekeeping, and she does have, just a tiny place to take care of. My home is pretty big. We have a lot of things to take care of. So her place is smaller, but her concept is great. And she actually once a month, she does, she goes through their stuff and gets rid of anything they're not using. Now, I don't even feel like I could do that in my big house with everyone, but we could do that in one room, right? We could do that in one room. So she lives in a smaller apartment, but she makes sure they don't have too much stuff, because all the stuff you have to clean up after. You have to, you know, find a place for it and all those things. So once a month, she literally goes through their stuff. And for me, as I said, I would have to just choose one room and go through this stuff. So less is better. So getting rid of the things that you do not use. So that is probably the biggest, easiest thing. And then we did a house swap in Hawaii a couple summers ago. And to get ready for that, we had lived in our same house for 20 years with a big family. So holy cow, we could not have someone come stay in our house without some help. So one of the things I did was actually have a professional organizer come over, and she, I was able to trade actually quite a bit of the fee. I was able to trade it for something that I do in a service, but I had her come and help us, and she taught me some great things. She taught me to have an intention for an area. For example, I had in my china closet, I also had, or not china closet, china cupboard, I also had Play-Doh and bubbles and things like that. And she said, you've got to set an intention for an area. What is your intention with this area? And so having that intention, okay, this is my china cupboard, then it is my china cupboard. It's not the place to stuff the Play-Doh and the other stuff. So have an intention for an area. And then the biggest thing that helps me, because I'm not a naturally organized person, is to, if there's problem areas in every house, right? There's problem areas and problem things. A problem we had for years was the stray socks. That was such a problem. They all went in a bin or in a drawer, all the stray socks, and then everybody's stray socks. And then when we needed socks, we had to get that thing out and go through it. You know, everybody throws all the socks out, trying to match it, and it would just take forever. And my mother-in-law, when they would come, it seemed like she would always take my stray socks and match them up. And she kind of criticized me one day about the stray socks, you know, how do we have so many socks and stuff? So one day I just thought about it for a few minutes, just a few minutes. I thought, how about those plastic drawers, those cheap plastic drawers? What if we had those in the laundry room? And I put each family member's name on a drawer. And as I'm doing the laundry and I'm folding the clothes, let's say there's not a match to the sock. And, you know, it's my sock. I open my plastic drawer and put that stray sock in there. Or I see when I'm putting my stray sock in my little plastic drawer, is the match in there? And, you know, if so, easily match that up and so I just took a few minutes to think about that. I went to the store and bought 2 little things of plastic drawers, that just tiny plastic drawers, and put our names on them. And we still do that today. That is just like, it just totally solved that problem. It's just so easy now to just grab the stray sock and go to the appropriate drawer and put it in there, or match from the drawer. Simple. So just taking a few minutes to think about it. Just take a few minutes to think about it and do it. The house organizer, the home organizer, I should say, also helped us by putting labels. So that is her trick. She puts labels. You set an intention for an area, and you have that certain thing there, and then she labels it. So that everybody knows, so we can remember where it goes, everyone else in the house remembers where it goes, and you stick that label to it, and then you stick to it. So that helps. The other thing that she helped me with was reducing my paper in the house. I just saved everything that was paper. Every picture the kids made, every receipt, you know, every old bill, all these things just saved so much. And I just had a lot of paper. And she reminded me, you know what, everything is online now. Really don't need to save all that stuff. And even if your kids make, you know, special things, then take a picture of that beautiful special thing with the child that made it, because that makes it more special. When you look at that picture someday, you see the child that made it for you, what they look like at the time, and what they made for you. And then, of course, that it's special, so you display that for a little while. Display that special thing. If it's something they made for you or something they made that's important, you can display that for a little while. But then you have the picture, and make sure they know you've taken the picture so that you can take the picture of them with it. So when you save a lot of school papers too, especially if they have construction paper, it's full of a lot of acid and it just fades anyway. And it bleeds onto the papers around it and everything. So they just, papers don't save. They have a lot of acid in them. So take pictures. Take pictures of the paper and the person. So I no longer save everything. And I will save the bills for that year. She made me some folders that have the months and the months of the year. So if you pay the bills and in March, you can stick the March bills right in that folder. And then you can save those if you need to refer to them, but you can find them easily. And then later those can be checked. She just reminded me, you know what, everything online. We don't need to save everything. So even the government had a paperwork reduction act. So at your home, have a paperwork reduction act like we have. We do not save everything anymore in paper. And now, so that's our organization section. And we talked about different things like simplify, get rid of what you don't need, less is better, set an intention for an area, take a few minutes to think about a problem and do it, just simple problem solving in that area. Use labels and reduce your paper that you save. So any comments on those parts of our lesson today on organization?
What was the topic on? My computer died.
Organization. I knew we lost you there for a while. So we were talking about organization. So we had simplify. Simplify things. Get rid of things you don't need. So less is better. Less is better, less is better. Set your intention for an area. For example, I talked about my china cupboard where I have my china, which also for some reason had the Play-Doh and the bubbles. And the organizer said, no, you set your intention for the area and keep that intention and keep those things separate. And that we can take just a few minutes. So we have a problem. A stray box or a problem thing. You can set your intention for the area, and you can just give it a few minutes and think about it. Lots of times we just need to think about the problem for a few minutes, like I did the stray sock problem, and solve it very quickly and easily. What have been a chronic problem for years. It's just because I took a few minutes to think about it and do something about it. And using labels and reducing your paperwork. I know we have Zoom freezing up a little bit. I hope you can hear me. So any comments about organization? Organize. You can take a few minutes and organize things. Any comments about that one? Okay, so we will go on to number 4, and that is, it's a family affair. Order in your home is a family affair. Yes, you set the standard that the family has to live by because you are in charge of the homemaking. So you set the standard if you are the one that is in charge of the homemaking. So, but it is a family affair. So everyone has responsibilities, even the little ones. And Jeanette, who's often on her call, she has 5 children and she does foster care. So right now she cares for 8 children and the oldest one is 10. So she is super good at making sure that the children have responsibilities and everyone is helping. And she even told me that when her children are 2 years old, the job she gives them is to take the little bathroom garbage and take it to the big kitchen garbage and dump it in. You know, she finds a way that even the teeny tiny ones can help and have a special job. And there was one time that she had a foster child and they were doing their morning routine and this child was really upset, and she finally figured out they were upset because they didn't have a job like everybody else. They wanted to be a part of that, and she gave them a little job. So it's really important that everyone, big and little, has responsibilities. You and I know it's easier for mom to clean up herself, usually. Okay, if you have little ones, you just do it yourself. But that does not serve your little ones. And I can speak from experience of having some of my children that I did a better job having them help around the house. who now as adults do a better job with that. And one of my children particularly that I coddle a little bit too much, and she didn't learn enough to do that, and now she's an adult with a child, and she super struggles with order. So that, you know, that's a sad thing that I, as a mother, didn't help her more with that. So have them help. Start really young. Then explain to your family that there is a privilege responsibility scale in a family, right? We have, so, you know, kind of this balance of privileges and responsibilities. So I make sure that they know that there are responsibilities in a family of helping. And because we're in a family, we also have privileges. We're doing a lot of fun things together. So balance that scale and help them know that is important. Teach them to do things for themselves. You can do if, then sentences of, for example, that young adult daughter that I've talked about who has really, really, really struggled with order and order habits because I, as a mother, didn't require them enough, really. She does live in our home with her child, and so she does have to help clean up, and she wasn't doing that. She wasn't doing that, and it was really frustrating because here's an adult with a child who's making big messes, and she's not helping. And so we would have like constant battles about this. So I finally did, because I tend her daughter when she goes to work, I finally did an if-then principle. And I said, if, these are the 3 things that you need to do every day to help clean up after you and your baby and the home that you live in. Here's 3 things that you need to do every day. If you don't do those 3 things, I will not tend your baby. If you don't do this day, then I won't tend your baby. It's time to go to work. Being like years of a problem solved that one day because she hasn't missed them since. And she's learning. And we started with 3 really, really simple things. Really simple things. And then I told her that we're going to add the other things that she, as a mother who will soon be in her own place, independent, and I have to teach her that she'll have to do for herself. And so we're adding a little bit, but if then principles work for little kids too. If da da da, then this will happen. If, and then of course you have to follow through with it. If your room isn't clean, then you cannot watch TV or something like that. So that helps. The family power pickups we talked about. Family power pickups, it's totally okay. And usually even your husband is good with it if he knows it's short. You say, honey, can we, you know, I really need some help today. And sometimes I've said to my husband, I really need some help. Would you like to vacuum or would you like to fold laundry? So it's not nagging, all right? It's not nagging or being like, you never help me. It's, I really need some help right now. Could you help vacuum or load the dishwasher? And it's funny, they don't really feel like it's nagging, and he'll usually help when I say that. So it's kind of how you word it, and make it fun. Make it fun. So I have to tell you, ladies, there have been times when I get really behind in the laundry, and a couple of those times we've had a laundry party, and I've said, we're gonna have a laundry party. It's just gonna be so fun. And I actually had my daughter. Make invitations to the laundry party. She, to make it fun, she cut out, well, I helped her fold the paper over and cut out a t-shirt. Then we wrote in the t-shirt, like, you're invited to the laundry party. And I think that we put for folding and treats and fun or something like that. And we actually handed invitations to the laundry party. And I hid, because we had quite a bit of clean laundry that wasn't even folded. So I actually hid a few Smarties in the laundry. And sometimes you can put a movie on or music. And we had a laundry party. And, you know, and my son even had a friend over. And I told him, you can be part of our laundry party. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. You can be part of our laundry party. And we had this laundry party, and we like got it all folded and tried to make it fun. So just, make working fun. Anyone have anything that you would like to talk about in terms of it's a family affair? Order is a family affair.
We have, do you mind if I say something? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I have a few older kids, and I have tried to get them to do chores more regularly and helping a lot more. And so I've made a chart where if they do certain things, they earn money so they can buy whatever they want. Certain toys that they may want.
Yeah.
But even that lately doesn't seem to work. They don't seem to care to want to help.
Uh-huh.
So what would you suggest?
I think I would suggest doing the if-then thing. Talking to them about the privilege responsibility scale in a family, right? That privilege, we have privileges in a family and responsibilities in a family. And that privilege responsibility scale, we have to have both. And if you don't do enough of the responsibilities, you're not going to get as many privileges, right? And we can't have all work and no play either. Like we know families where, that's happened. I had some cousins who worked all the time and could not ever have any fun, which didn't have privileges. So you have to have that privilege responsibility scale. And then I would make some if-thens, make my dailies chart that they have to check off with, dry erase marker, dailies, just simple dailies that they, you slide in the plastic sleeve, hang them up, they can check them off the dry erase, but, just they have to have the dailies done before they can play or have techno, and it can be reward things. You can say, if this is done by this time, then such and such reward. And it can be the other way. If it's not done by, if you don't do this, then you cannot have this privilege. If you don't complete these responsibilities, then you cannot have this privilege. And you know what? The if-then works super good for ADD and ADHD kids in anything. The if-then, that works really, really good. I read that in an article once, and I've used that. That really helps. So, I would make that, if they don't do the responsibility, they don't get the privilege. So, it's got to be balanced. So that's something I would suggest. Lauren, do you have any suggestions or for her or any comments on It's a Family Affair?
Not really. I think I'm going to be taking it to prayer. I have a hard time delegating family responsibilities and thinking that others would cooperate, so it's easier to do it. So yeah, I think I'm going to be taking it to prayer to get some help.
Well, and trust me, with grown-up kids, if you don't help them do it when they're younger, then they don't learn it, and then they struggle when they're adults. And honestly, you have to start when they're really young, but the super magic age is 8 to 13, where you're really teaching them how to do all the laundry, cooking, things like that. Once they get to age 13, like you've lost some of your time. Obviously, you're still their mom. Obviously, you're still helping them, but they start getting involved in school classes and extracurricular activities, jobs, and so you have to teach them before that. You have to teach them a lot before that to do. And just putting their jobs on their daily sheet is probably the easiest.
You should have done it again. Get down. Yeah, you can. I know you can.
Okay, sorry, we have a little.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Okay, sorry, I'm trying to fix that here. Let's see.
I do have a request, if you can. So you said you created your dailies chart.
Yeah.
Do you have that you could share on the Facebook group?
I do, and what I could do is take a picture of it, or just list the things that I have. The first one, as I said, that I made too difficult, so don't make it too difficult. But sure, I'll take a picture of it, and then I can put the photo up there. And
that'd be awesome.
They kind of depend on who you are and and what you do. My children.
Yeah, of course, but just because it looks like you had kind of blended the roles and the dailies. And so that's kind of the direction I was starting to think this morning. And or at least, yeah. So it'd be great if you could, or if you still have it in from how you created it.
Yeah, the PDF.
Yeah, the PDF.
I don't know if I have your, I have your email, I think. I'll have to make sure. I'll make sure if I don't have
I think you can upload PDF. I don't know if you can on Facebook. I don't remember. Yeah, if you had it in PDF, then I can just tweak it as I want or start over, or if it doesn't seem like it goes, but that would be a jump start.
I think you can edit it. My children's is handwritten, but, and it's because sometimes their stuff changes too, but mine is in a PDF. So I can do that. I can take a picture of it and put it on the group, and I can also, by email, send out the PDF. So yeah, it's really helped me. It really does. So let's see here, ladies. Let me check time here. I think we're ready to wrap up here. Yeah. So we probably better get wrapped up. Sarah, you're upside down. Oh, there you are. Good. There you are, right side up here. So let's see here. Sarah, I realize we're just finishing here. I do have, I would love to tell you more about our program. If you would like to know more about our program, would that be okay with you? Okay, she's nodding.
Yes, that would be fine. Sorry.
So, and I do have some slides that show that, but I don't know whether to go to those and put that up. So I'll just tell you that the moms that are in this group, we have 8 weeks of lessons, Tuesdays at 10:30 via Zoom. And so even if you were to start our group now, you would still have 8 weeks. So even if some moms are finishing, other moms can be coming in, because every Tuesday there is a lesson at 10:30. And each week we concentrate on one poignant area of mothering, just like we did today. And I always get feedback from our group members and ask what you want more of, so that I make sure that I can get it. Thank you, Lauren. Yes, thank you. And you're welcome. You can go if you want. And so anyway, we do that. And the mothers are also part of a private Facebook group where we can share more, like I have a lot more ideas that'll come up. I'll share main points from our lesson. I can share a link from, hi kiddo. I can share a link from our lesson if you missed the lesson. Then I can upload that to YouTube. I can upload everything to YouTube and put a link on there, and so you can get that. And the moms can interact. I put different posts and different tips throughout the week, and the other moms in the group put stuff up, and then they can be like, hey, I tried this and it worked, or I tried this and it didn't work, any ideas? And so it's a private Facebook group, and each participant gets 2 private mentor calls. So you get one 30-minute call where I talk to you and get to know you on a very personal basis, and what are your dynamics as a mom, how many children do you have, what ages are they, what kind of things do you want to find more of. And then so we talk about that for 30 minutes, and then at the end of our 8 weeks, I have a 1-hour call with you. And that 1-hour call is to help make sure that you can incorporate the things that we talked about. And we'll go through the things we talked about. How are you doing with this? Are there any problems that are coming up? Any difficulties? How can I help you with those? What can I do to help you move forward in this area? Because it's really important to me to make sure that I don't just motivate but activate someone, and that they can take what I've taught them and they can actually put it into place. So we have that. And then sometimes I just do spoiling. I just do little things of spoiling. So yesterday I mailed a package to Lauren, and the other ones got just, sometimes I'll just do a little thing. So they, the first time they got bath salts, I just sent them. I just sent them over. Because moms, with essential oils, a little spoiling. The gift that I did yesterday was just a little magnet picture frame to remind them to create memories with their children, so they can put that on their fridge. And a couple of chocolates that I take there. So sometimes I just do some spoiling of them. So that's part of the group. So to be part of the group. The group is, and it goes 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks by the time we do our lessons and our stuff. So do you have any questions about that?
No, it sounds like an awesome program. I would love it to continue to listen as much as we can anyway.
That sounds great. Would it be okay, Sarah, if I send you a link with the details of it in an email?
Oh, yeah.
Okay with you?
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll give you my email. Or do you want me to type it?
Go ahead and let's see. How do I want to do that? Let me, because I hate to like put your stuff up here like for everyone. Let's have you type it in the chat because
Okay.
Type your email if you want, or even let me give you my number and you can just there we go.
I just sent you my email. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. So I can.
Okay, sorry.
So I will send you a link today about the group, and we would love to have you join us. We would love it. And thank you for joining us today and contributing and being patient with our techno stuff and you know, wrestling your children at the same time you're trying to listen. I know how that is. Totally know how that is. So anyway, thank you for joining us.
You set your concentration on them, they decide they can do whatever they want.
Hey, I totally understand. I do. Have an awesome day, Sarah. It's so nice to get to know you.
You too, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.